Hello there lovely viewers, what is up? Max from Facts and Fiction here with another video. For as long as I can remember, I've loved reading manga. I think this started because I love One Punch Man, but that's a different story that's not worth going into. True, manga is just black and white comic books in Japan, but I still enjoy it just as much as the millions of people who buys and reads it. Anyway, you probably noticed the rise in popularity of a certain genre in manga and anime lately. It's the Isekai genre, which, if you're not aware of, Isekai means crossing to another world, or at least that's what I've been told. We've seen this genre in anime such as Overlord, Gate, Log Rising, Re:Zero, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, The Shield Hero, and many more. So, this made me to think, what other manga is just waiting to get their own anime adaptation? I got to know about the anime with the slime through the manga. With that, I've made a top 15 list of manga that I think deserve an anime adaptation. Just keep in mind that they might have become an anime sometime after this video was uploaded. Now, let's get on to that list. Number 15. Because I've been reincarnated as the Piggy Duke, this time I will say I Like You. Set in a world based on an anime, our protagonist wakes up to find himself in the body of the anime's bad guy known as the Piggy Duke, who you can see here is fat. Not that there's anything wrong with that, in fact, I find this as a really good concept in the manga. So far in most anime, we've seen the main character is an unbelievably hot guy who for some dumb reason is somehow not attractive to other anime girls, though that may vary in anime, and to be honest, everyone in anime is kind of hot. But why I like this manga is because it tries to change the norm in Isekai manga. Instead of a hot guy who makes the girls drop, we see a guy who's put in a physical difficult position. As a result, he seems actually try to improve himself physically in order to better himself and confess to the girl he loves. Does it have a harem? As of the moment, it doesn't seem like he would. Sure, there's a princess that might fall in love with him, but so far the story is focused on the main plot, which actually is kind of good. I won't spoil what happens, go check it out. Number 14. Extras Online. I probably should have moved this manga to number 12. What can I say other than the fact that it has stupid fan service? The manga does have a very good storyline that probably will put Sword Art Online to shame. For one, the characters are stuck in a game-like world, and the main character is overpowered like Kirito. That is if Kirito had a super cool armor and was known as the Demon King, of course. The story also has these stakes that are super high like Sword Art Online, of course that varies in different seasons, and fanservice that is almost completely unnecessary, kind of like Sword Art Online. But the main difference is the fact that the main character wakes up to find himself as the Demon Lord, aka the bad guy, while his school friends are the heroes whom he has to defeat in order to save them. I know it's quite confusing, but I won't go further than this. The manga is a fun read. Unfortunately, the illustrator for the manga is dead, but the light novel is still alive and ongoing. So check that out if you want to know what happens next. Number 13. Yanki is loved by spirits in a different world. Roxanne, we love him and we keep loving him. I mean, he's probably responsible for 90% transportation of most of our favorite Isekai characters. So have you ever wondered what will happen if he brought over a Yanki? Well, say no more. Our main character is Re:Zero, who, like some Isekai character, is killed by Toxan and sent to another world which has magic. Unlike the others, he hasn't shown any magical potential yet. The story is still ongoing, but the plot is very good. Despite the Yanki being the main character, he's brave, sometimes misunderstood, and for some reason attracted to these little guys he calls chibis. They are spirits, by the way. I recommend you give this a read if you're looking for something that is outside the norm in Isekai genre. Zero isn't overpowered, but his determination to help others is pretty admirable. Number 12. And now we have Kuma Bear. Are you tired of only seeing male leads? Well, this manga turns that around by having our main character as a girl. Meet Yuna, our 15-year-old protagonist, who, after getting a rare bear suit and answering a survey, is teleported to a different world, different from the virtual reality MMO game she knows. The manga has some sweet action and is void of unnecessary fan service. It doesn't have much of a plot like the previous three, but I base that number 12 because it has heartwarming moments, nice action scenes, slice of life elements, and some nice comedy. She's also the kind of character who won't let any wrong stay the way it is. So whether it's corrupt nobles or a giant serpent that has massacred almost everybody in the village, you can bet that she'll be there to save the day. Number 11. Have you watched Overlord, and by any chance have you wondered what he would be like if he was a knight? Welcome to the manga Skeleton Knight, going to a parallel world. Now, some of you may be thinking that this is a rip-off of Overlord just by the sign of that, but I'm gonna have to stop you there. The only similarity between these two is the fact that both of them are overpowered skeletons and that the player has slept off in the game. So besides that, the storyline is very much different and unique. The guy is accompanied by a special animal and a cool elf woman, and together they ensure that elves outside the village are saved and protected from bad humans who see them nothing but a commodity to be used. Along the way, they make allies and come closer to the human affairs in the human kingdom. I recommend reading this if you're in love with Overlord. Trust me, the manga is pretty good. Number 10. In another world, I'm called the Black Healer. And we're back to another female main character. But what is this? She's actually an adult? I know it's pretty much impossible that she is. I mean, just look at her. She looks like a kid. But I can assure you that she's an adult. Unlike Kuma Bear, this story has more depth, both emotionally and physically. I think it sticks realistically to how a person would react to being thrown into another world. There's also a bunch of mystery to keep you entertained and deceptions that forces our main character into difficult positions. Is there any action? No, not much really. But if you're interested in a bit of slice of life, mystery, and a few plot twists, I totally recommend that you read this manga. Number 9. Now we have this manga which is about a spider. Come on there, Suga Nanika. When I read this manga, I had a lot of thoughts for it. You see, our main character is a high school girl who wakes up to find herself as a spider in an underground cave. Now, you may think that, okay, she'll get out of there in like 5 chapters or less. But no, you will be very wrong. She stayed there for more than you think. In fact, she's still there at the time of recording this. However, it's surprisingly not bad. Why I place this in number 9 is because it's really unique to the Isekai genre. We see this totally confused high school girl put in a position that she totally could never think she would be in. As such, she has to navigate her way and become stronger against superior monsters that live there. There's a lot of action and smart taking moments as well as tons of tension. Mystery is devoid in this too. So if you're looking for a manga that sticks out of the norm, check this one out. It's better than you might be thinking. Number 8. Moonlit Journey Across Another World. High school student Misumi Makoto is sent to another world to become the hero that will save the human world. But because he isn't handsome, no, I'm not joking, he's sent to the wildlands far from most of civilization by the goddess that summoned him. So yeah, we have another useless goddess on our hands. Now you may think that Makoto will be vengeful for being thrown aside. In fact, I think most of us will be that way. However, what makes his situation unique is the fact that he isn't out for revenge. You might even say he's a pacifist, which might make it boring, if not for the fact that he's insanely strong. One of the few flaws he has is the fact that he doesn't know how to fully control the huge amount of power he possesses. One character even says that the humans see him as an army of demon lords marching. So, if you're enjoying the anime Gate and Log Horizon, then this manga is just for you. Number 7. This time, I definitely will be happy. When I first read the title of this manga, I thought it was just another romantic manga with a main girl wanting to be independent. I was wrong. I was so wrong. This manga was secretly an Isekai manga, but with so much plot twist that it's actually pretty entertaining. In fact, the first few chapters make sure to foreshadow some of the things in a stable manner. You won't even notice until everything has been revealed. Our main character is 17 years old Louisa Akinton, the lover of the hero Graham Winhood. The both of them have been shadow friends until one day he's called up to go and defeat the demon lord. This is something that has been going on for over a century now. So before they are torn apart from each other, Graham promises to come back for her. She accepts and soon he's off to make his kingdom proud. Unknown to him, however, she ends up packing up her things and moving to the capital to start a new life. Cause you see, she has been in this situation with the hero before. She's actually a reincarnation of other past lives that she has lived to. Always her shadow friends in these past lives will be the hero. They will promise to come back for her, but after defeating the demon lord, they will end up marrying someone else, thus forgetting her and leaving her to a life of shame and complete suffering. Now you might be thinking that this isn't even an isekai. Spoiler alert, her first life is actually a high school girl from another world. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Trust me, give this manga a try because what it lacks in action, correctly, it makes up for it in character development, exposition, and romance. By the end, you'll feel so much sympathy towards this girl. Number 6. Don't you hate it when God kills you by accident? Oh, that has never happened to you? Well, high school student Sansu knows that very well. After his life is cut short by toxin and a divine mistake, Sansu finds himself meeting God, who soon decides to make it up for killing him by accident by sending him to another world. Sansu tries to follow the trope he has seen in other manga and anime, so he asks to become the strongest in that world. God gives him that chance, but it's not with a poof, you're suddenly the strongest. He actually has to work for it for years, like 500 years, under the tutelage of an immortal sage. Why I add this to number 6 is because it's kind of like One Punch Man. Both manga like to make fun of some anime tropes. Also, both main characters are essentially strong after doing some training regimen that may sound stupid at first glance. Give it a try if you enjoy One Punch Man. It's a pretty fun read and it has a very good storyline. Number 5. Death Mount Death Play. This is actually what you would call a reverse isekai, and if you don't know what that means, I'm basically saying it's a person from a fantasy world that is sent to our own world. After being defeated, a necromancer called the Corpse God is able to cross over to modern Japan, where he inhabits the body of a dead kid named Polka. Some challenges come his way and humans he allies himself with. The story is a very fun read. I totally recommend reading this one as well. Number 4. The hero is walking the second time on the path of vengeance while laughing. If this becomes an anime, I hope the title is changed. Anyway, you can get from the title that this is a revenge manga. I'll stumble upon a few others like this, but this is one of the few manga that seem to not have the main character losing all relatability whatsoever. Yukai Kaito was another summoned hero with the usual trope you would expect. A European medieval type human kingdom summoned him to save their world from the Demon Lord, so he decides to help them because he's a general good guy. But what happens after he killed the Demon Lord? You would expect a festival, but he was welcome, right? However, that's not what happens. After killing the Demon Lord, the hero is betrayed by the very people he trusted before being killed himself. However, unlike most useless goddess, the hero is given a restart in this other world. This is because the goddess actually cared about the people she sent to another world than just sending off to a strange world where they could die from other causes. I like this manga because though the hero wants revenge, he hasn't lost the kindness and love he has for other people. Like, for instance, he saved the father and a son of another species that were killed by the kingdom in its first life. Yeah, the humans are pretty racist or species if that was an actual word. You should give this a try if revenge is the type of thing you like to read about. There's some cool action scenes and the hero joins with a bunny girl who has gone through her own fair share of hell. Number 3. This is a manga that I came across barely a week ago. I ended up reading it till like past 1 the night. Totally worth it, by the way. Anyway, the manga is called The Dead Mage Who Doesn't Want a Fourth Time, and it's about a high school kid named Mamiya Hiroto that is killed along with his classmates and teacher during a boat trip. Everyone wakes up to find themselves summoned by the god of reincarnation, who decides to give them a second chance in another world as heroes. Sounds good, right? They are, however, given the option to go back to their world, so it's not like they couldn't go back. In fact, only one student chooses to be reincarnated back on Earth. However, the rest decide to become heroes in another world since that sounds more exciting. Hiroto chooses to wait it out until everyone is gone so he could receive his own. But to his dismay, the god of reincarnation has given someone that power meant for him to a lookalike. There's nothing Hiroto can do but be sent to another world where he would suffer for the rest of his life. And when I mean suffer, I mean the very term of the word. He's reincarnated to be the child of a prostitute and a terrible father. From there, he's sold off as a baby to a company who find out he has a new element and begin to put him through constant and painful experiments. He eventually gets his freedom, but in the twist of irony, he's not killed by the people who made him go through hell, but by his own classmates. Next thing he knows, he's waking up to meet the god of reincarnation again, who has sympathy and pity towards him for the life he went through. So, what does Hiroto ask for? Simple. He asks to be given more power so he can go back and have revenge on his classmates. Does the god of reincarnation comply with this request? No, absolutely not. Against his wish, the god of reincarnation sends him to another world, this time based on a fantasy world, to help develop it. But not wanting to suffer again, he also places a curse that will kill him again, so that way he can be reincarnated back on Earth. Hiroto therefore is reborn as the baby of a dark elf and a vampire. But this time, he's determined to make this third life of his as a better life for himself. Hiroto wants revenge, but he hasn't lost his compassion and kindness he has always possessed. As a result, he's willing to help others whenever he can, as he sets off to become stronger and prepare for a possible day the god of reincarnation might send his classmates to kill him again. I know, the god of reincarnation isn't the smartest one out there. Number 2, imagine you're just you. Just stay with me on this. Now, imagine you just entered your classroom. Then suddenly, there's a flash of lights, and the next thing you know, you and those classmates are in a strange and unfamiliar room with a princess greeting you. Everything is cleared up by the king, as he reveals that they summoned heroes to help them defeat the demon king. But here's the problem, you're not supposed to be one of them. In other words, you were just dragged into this with no way to go back to your world. So, what do? Well, high school student Okumura Shiro on the manga, the unique sheet of the man dragged in by the 4 heroes, knows what to do. He sets out to explore this new world on his own. Along the way, he meets a couple of beast kings, while also trying to stay away from growing tensions between the beast, demon and human kingdom. I enjoyed this manga due to its world building, proper pacing and character development. Shiro possesses a sheet which allows him to write down whatever he can think of as limits, but he's obviously one of those overpowered isekai characters, though he has met a few people who are stronger and more experienced than him. You might think with everything in this list, this manga shouldn't be number 2, but trust me, this is an awesome manga and I totally recommend that you take a look at it. Now, with that all said, here are some honorable mentions. Number 1. A wild last boss has appeared. Words cannot express just how good this manga is. It has amazing action, tons of world building, character development, and so much mystery that it will keep you at the very edge of your seat. In fact, you'll be so absorbed into this that you won't even mind that the main character is a boy stuck in a woman's body. Wait, what? But all jokes aside, I can assure you that you won't mind the gender bender mixed in it. Let me explain. Sometime in the distant future, there exists a MMORPG called Mage with its own setting of war and accessibility to other countries. A single player was able to create an avatar that will one day triumph over other players and become the Black Wing Overlord, Lufasu Mafalu. But like all things, they cannot last, and the player arranged with a few other players, aka the heroes, to have a final showdown. Lufasu loses, the viewers are happy, and the player is satisfied. Everything should have ended by then, right? Wait, what's this? An irritation? Well, what could go wrong? Before the player knows it, he's waking up in a strange room with shocked knights and a king. First thing he notices was the heaviness of his chest and the absence of a certain boy part. Nonetheless, he discovers that he has been transferred into the body of his avatar. What's more, he finds out that the history of his avatar as well as the battle with the heroes are in this fantasy world. Confused, he sets out to find out the truth behind his presence in this new world, unaware of evil forces working behind the scene. Now, he must find a way to assemble his disbanded generals, the 12 stars of heaven, in order to get one step closer to the truth. If you enjoy One Punch Man and if you're looking for an isekai with an interesting and amazing storyline, then this manga is definitely for you. I don't need to say more. This manga is a must read. And that's where we end today's video. Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like what you saw, don't hold back. Share this video for your friends, colleagues, or any group you know. Be sure to subscribe, click that notification bell too, so you can be up to date with future videos. Also, follow us on Twitter and visit our Patreon page. This is Max from Facts and Fiction, and I'm signing off once again.